Hey everybody, welcome to Web Inspect. My name is Timothy Miller. This is my channel, and today I want to talk a little bit meta. By meta, I mean I want to talk a little bit about this channel, some of my future goals, what I'm trying to do with this, all that stuff. Guys, the future is complicated and it's changing very fast, and no one really knows what's going to happen in the next 10 to 20 years. It's kind of a crazy time to be alive. There's a lot going on that has never happened in the history of humanity before, and it's really hard to tell what's going to happen in the near future. It's like all of us are in a race car, right? And this race car has a rock on the gas pedal, and you're staring out the window going as fast as you can in one direction, and you have no idea what that direction is. My best advice for handling not knowing what the future brings is to find something you enjoy doing and to go out and do it. You want to be a dancer? That's great. Don't watch this channel. You want to be an architect? That's really good too. You better hit those textbooks, study hard. You're going to be a great architect. You want to fly airplanes? We should talk. But that's not what this channel is about. I do love aviation. I'm kind of an aviation nerd, so we should talk, but that's not what we're going to be talking about here. What about a programmer? Have you ever considered being a programmer? Let me tell you a couple of things about being a programmer. I have been a programmer for over a decade now. I got my first programming job when I was 17, and I made $14 an hour, and I knew nothing. Seriously, I still can't believe that they actually hired me, because everything that I knew I could probably teach you in a couple of hours. That was how superficial my knowledge was. But they still hired me to be a programmer, and I went to the office every day. I went as an intern, and they gave me a few things. They gave me a nice Windows desktop, and they gave me my internship, of course, and they gave me a project. And that's probably the most important thing that that company gave me, even more than the money, because the project was what really got me to start learning about what being a programmer is actually all about. So the next 6 months I was working on that project for them, and I worked maybe 15, 20 hours a week for them. Every spare minute that I wasn't working for them, I was studying about what it means to be a programmer. 6 months later, I had finished that job. I had already lined up my next programming job, and I had given myself a world-class education in programming for $14 an hour. I didn't go to school for this stuff. I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. I didn't study programming, and yet I've been a professional programmer for the last 10 years. And I teach people about it. I give talks about it, and now I run this YouTube channel about programming. And all of that started with $14 an hour paying me to teach myself for 6 months. I don't know if you've noticed, guys, but traditional education has some problems right now. It used to be that you could go to college and get a degree and you were pretty well set. You could pretty well expect to get a job when you got out of school. That's not so much the case anymore. On the other hand, there are jokers like me who pick up programming just because they want to do it, and then they stumble into this whole career path that they didn't even know existed just because they were interested and passionate about programming. What matters now is not the letters after your name. It's not the piece of paper that hangs on your wall. What matters now is work. The quality of your work, the consistency of your work, how hard you're willing to work. Those are what truly matter, at least in the programming world. And we're talking about programming here, right? I created Web Inspect to help you discover how computers can make your dreams a reality. Programming is exploding into this vast field of all different types, and there are all different flavors of programmers. You don't have to know any math to do programming. There are so many myths around programming, but when it comes down to it, there's so much here for you to discover if you just want to put in the time and effort to learn it. So I want Web Inspect to be a place for beginners and veterans alike. For the beginners, I want you to know that you don't have to do anything to get started. You can start with what you've got. You don't have to have an expensive computer. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a formal education. You don't have to know math. All you need is a web browser on a computer to get started. That's all you need. And it's going to be hard for a while. Programming is one of those things that takes a while to click in your brain. And it's one of those things that you have to dive in and you have to work on a project and you have to pound your head against the wall until it sinks in. but eventually it will sink in. For you veterans out there, I want to teach you what I have learned from a decade in the trenches. I have been through a lot of different job changes. I've been a front-end programmer, I've been a back-end programmer, I've done design work, I've done game development work, I've done native Linux applications. I have a lot of experience in a lot of different little areas, and I feel like that's something that more programmers need, is kind of a better rounding of their knowledge, if you were. Especially because programming does tend to get to a point where you kind of start to stagnate, where what you're doing doesn't seem good enough. And I want you to know that you are good enough, and I want you to know that there are other things that you can do within your field that might be more interesting to you than what you're doing right now. And if you're going through a burnout phase, like every other programmer I know who has been in this for a while has been through a burnout phase. And I feel like it's kind of inevitable with this field that you get to a point where you just lose interest in what you're doing. And I want to help you get past that too. I want to light a fire in your belly to help you enjoy the work that you're doing just as much as you used to. So that's the pitch, guys. That's the kind of community that I want to build here. That's the sort of camaraderie I want to see in the comments and on social media. I want to pull you guys in, and I want all of us to learn from each other. But I need your help to do that. I can make videos about the stuff that I know, but I don't really know if the stuff I know is useful to you guys. So I need you to give me feedback, to comment below, to hit me up on social media, like the videos that you like, subscribe to the channel, all of those things, guys. Everything helps. And if you want to see this community come to fruition, then I need that from you guys. So I hope that sounds good to some of you. I want to be able to share this stuff with you, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity to do that. And remember, guys, this stuff is difficult. Sometimes it will chew you up and spit you out, but you can do this. You are good enough. Never stop learning. Bye.